I feel like the guys are putting me in a funnel. When we first agreed to do this, I had 18 minutes to tell a 10-year story. And then when they mic'd me, they said, no, you have 16. And now they just said I have 15. So when he says, hang on, because I'm going to try to do this, and I have 8 slides. So that's the goal. So yesterday morning, the opening session talked about the why. And so I just want to set up the next 15 minutes with my why. So I'm a simplifier. I love taking complex things and making them simple. So how do we do that? So through the slide presentation of what we're doing inside of the Rohrman Automotive Group, I'm going to introduce 2 mechanisms. The first mechanism is an internal mechanism, and the second one is an external mechanism. And so as I go through this, I'm going to talk about those, but I also want you to think about a term, and I'm going to reference the term quite a bit. The term is this: cleaner is better. Cleaner is better. And that is what is driving a lot of the success that we're having right now. So first things first, as we jump into what we're doing, a brief overview. So my grandfather started the Rohrman Auto Group back in 1963, a gravel used car lot. In 1968, he got his first chance at being a new car dealer, and it was a Toyota store. We just had some grand openings of rebuilt Toyota stores that we did just a week or 2 ago, and we found out that in the state of Indiana, we have the oldest ongoing Toyota store in the state. So that's kind of a neat little history fact about us. But the thing about my grandfather was it was all about him, and he did a phenomenal job. He set us up for what we're doing today. But in that man, mission, legacy piece, we had to transition, and that's hard. It's hard to transition a 60-year-old company into something new and better. And that is what we're trying to do, and I think it's what we're doing. So one of my favorite terms is a growing business is always in transition. And part of that is you have to adapt to a high change culture. So inside of our organization, our team is ready for change, and we have changed a lot. Since 2018, that's when I took over the role that I currently have right now. So inside of that, we had to find out who we are. And so if you can see on there, the original structure was like a wheel and a hub concept. So everything revolved around one person, being my grandfather. And I tried to do that for 2 years. I tried to be in 25 stores every single month, holding high-level meetings with all my managers, and it was exhausting. And it was tolling on my family as well. And so we had to change. And so we changed into a more corporatized structure, and I can tell you that was the first step in like exploding in terms of we never went backwards once we did that. Once we put structure in where it wasn't all about one person, it was about a team, we got better, and we got better quicker. The other thing that we had to really do is figure out like the concept of KPIs, what drives your business. And this is hard because most goals or KPIs, we call it smoke. You can manipulate it, you can find ways around it, and inside of this business, sales associates, they're really good at finding the holes in everything we do. So we spend a lot of time, years, perfecting what we call the infinite pursuit. And I'm explaining this because I think what everyone wants to hear is about our technology and our CDP, but it would not work if it wasn't for the first mechanism. And so the first mechanism really is that infinite pursuit that you see. So every single one of those logos is a different KPI program. So we have KPIs for sales, finance, parts, service. My directors have KPIs, and then I have another program for my general managers. And we are all about these. We press into them. And so if you were to ask me what is really important inside of KPIs, number one, it has to be non-smokable. Number two, we are a composite-driven group. So net to sales is our end-all, be-all goal, is to drive that. So everything we do presses into that. The other thing we found out is that as we started doing, unloading these KPIs, I'd walk into a store and I'd ask a sales associate, hey, do you know about the infinite pursuit? And they didn't. So we also found out really quick that the trickle-down effect doesn't work, right? And so what I mean by that is if my expectation is that what we want to drive starts with my directors and the GMs, it's hard for them to push it down. The expectation is that they do that, but we have to help them out and we have to do more. So we started doing a lot more touch points to the point now where if you walk into any Rohrman store, they know everything about this slide. Ask them about our cultures, ask them about our core values, our purpose statement. They know it because we have high touch points. We do over 30 trainings annually where we don't hire it out, we do it ourselves. I'm there at those, and we get to know every revenue-generating employee inside of the auto group. We employ roughly around 1,300 folks right now. So we're very passionate about driving the infinite pursuit. That mechanism is what fuels the success that we're having with the next one. So, the next thing we had to do, so that internal mechanism is all about getting everyone on the same page, pointed the same direction, on the same goal sets, goals that cannot be smoked. So that when we talk about it, it always, at all times, points to that. The second thing we had to do, I'm getting into the second mechanism now, we had to get unstuck. We had to get unstuck from the way the car business used to be. I still remember one time, so I was running a store in Chicago for many years, and my grandfather called me and he said, hey Ryan, I just put your cell phone number on the front page of the Chicago Tribune. Let me know how many phone calls you get. And you know, from the time of 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., I got no calls. But from 1 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 3 a.m., man, I got all kinds of calls. My phone was blowing up. And none of them, I couldn't understand a single person because they were just, I don't know what they were doing. They might have been here at the casino. But that's how he knew it worked, right? The other side of it was we did a ton of TV advertising. And you know where he advertised? Where he watched TV. He loved the Cubs. So guess what? We advertised in the Cubs. You know how he knew he was getting his advertising? Because he'd sit and watch the Cubs and be like, there I am. So there's a phrase that I've heard over and over again, and it's kind of interesting. It's that auto dealers love to spend money in advertising, and we know that 50% of it works, and 50% doesn't. We just don't know which one it is. So what do? We just keep spending. That has to stop. That is not a smart way to run a company. If you know that 50% is not working, find out what 50% of it is and kill it. That's a direct add to your bottom line. So we had to get unstuck. And the next thing we had to do, we had to figure out how to own our data. So as I enter into the second mechanism, it all starts with this. The whole concept of a CDP, I'm telling you, it's a daunting task. It's been one of the most challenging things that my team has done over the last 8 to 10 years. And a lot of it's because in this room, we love instant gratification. You know, I sign a contract today, that tool, it's up and working in 30 days. And if it's not, cancellation, right? When I signed the original contract with our CDP provider, inside of it, it said it was going to take us 18 months to get it up and going. And I was like, 18 months? Nothing takes 18 months. And they're like, well, we think that's actually pretty fast. I said, wow. I said, this is going to be challenging. So it took us 9 months to do it. And they're like, we don't know how you did it. And it's like, we don't either. Because 9 months seemed forever. And the thing that I want to really encourage all the dealers in the room to do is to really think about the success of putting that time in. Because I can tell you, I'm standing in front of you now, this is not in theory anymore. I've heard CDP talks for years now inside Automotive, and they're always, well, in theory, this is what happens. I can tell you we're 90 days live as of right now, and I'm going to end this talk in 5 minutes with some data, because I want to show it to you, and I think you'll be encouraged by it. But the first thing you have to do on your journey, and this is something that every single dealer in this room, if you haven't done this, you need to do this next thing now. And this is easy. You need to find where your single source of truth is at inside of your data. It doesn't matter what DMS provider you're on, your data's dirty. And it's dirty because things change. Your employees, yesterday, we found out that in Maryland, it's very popular to have no name at noname.com, right? Well, guess what? That's popular in Indiana and Illinois too. So the data's dirty. And customers change. They change addresses. They change cars. They don't own the car forever. How does your DMS know that? It doesn't. So that's part of the problem. When you are getting 50% of your advertising dollars working and 50% not, it's because 50% of your database, it's not accurate. It's wrong. So we did this last summer. In July, we cleansed our data, and we found out that out of 1 million records, we went 7 years back, 48% of our data was clean. 48%. So 52% was dirty in some way. So then we enhanced and we enriched it. So we were able to go back and get some of that. So we got about 25% of it back, all right? So where do you put that at? That's the next hard part. Can you write it back into your DMS? Absolutely not. They don't let you do that. I don't know why that is, but you can't. Once you cleanse and enrich and enhance your data, you can't write it back, so you need to find a home for it. Now, it's my opinion that a CDP is not a home for your perfected record. We use a Snowflake instance or a data lake. There's other providers. We've partnered with them. And we push everything into there. So that went live for us in July of last year. And our advertising dollars started working instantly. The CDP wasn't even active yet. We just started marketing to clean data. All the old data that wasn't going anywhere, we stopped wasting the money on sending whatever it was. So step one, own your data. You need a single source of truth. And we did that. So then the second thing you have to do after that is point everything to it. So we don't market out of our DMS at all anymore. Everything points to our Snowflake, to our single source of truth. And we can continually enhance and enrich and make it better. We also, inside of our Snowflake instance, we're able to get more data. We're not renting lists anymore. We're not having other people market for us. We can do all the marketing right out of a single source of truth. So once we established that, we realized if we wanted our CDP to work, we had to perfect our tech stack. So this is our tech stack. This is where this thing gets really fun. So again, I'm going to go back to that KPI concept. And I'm going to say what we are trying to do. What we're trying to do inside of our entire process, we don't want more leads. The conversation that I'm having with third-party lead providers, I'm having with any marketing, whatever it is, I do not want more leads. Leads are not, the end result of a perfected tech stack and process, leads are too low funnel. So what we want is sessions. That's what we're driving. We want sessions. So sessions is how many unique people are hitting your website. So we track, and this is where it gets challenging. You got to make sure that your website, we had to change websites in July because we found that our old website provider, it wasn't ASC, it wasn't ready for it. So we got everything pointed towards GA4 under the ASC concept, and then we started tracking stuff that we didn't know. If you look at any of your sessions, you're getting 30, 40,000 people to your website per month. If you're good, your engagement rate of that 30 or 40,000, you might get 50 to 60% engaged. So what's engagement? Click, hover, swipe, all right? Click, hover, swipe is engagement. From the engagement rate, if you're getting 2% to key events, you're on the right track. What's a key event? A key event is actionable items. So telephonics, that's a call. It could be an HTML formatted lead. It could be a credit app. It could be a service appointment. Anything where the consumer finished, right? So think about that for a second. You start at 40,000, then you cut it in half, and then you get 2%. That's what we're trying to drive. At the end of the day, that's what we're trying to drive. So how can we effectively know how to talk and market to 40,000? Your tech stack has the ability to do that. But it all has to point back to GA4. So this is our tech stack. So for example, on our trade-in tool, whoever click, hover, swipes on our trade-in tool, we potentially don't know who their name. Now, if we already have their PII in our Snowflake, we do know their name because it can stitch together. If we don't have their PII, we still have their MAC ID, and we can still do something with it, right? So we call this shopping cart abandonment. This is a great audience type. Like when you're on your CDP journey, audience type 101, shopping cart abandonment. It's all the people that start filling something out and they stop for some reason. You know, I was with Lexus, I said this yesterday on stage, but I was with Lexus a couple weeks ago, and the service scheduler completion rate, 15% in Chicagoland. That was not ours. We actually were less than that. 15% in Chicagoland. So my question is, well, what's happening to the other 85% of people that are not submitting? We can market now to them. And we have been for 90 days. Oh my word, it's crazy. Guess what? Those people, they actually, a lot of them, they want to schedule service, but life happens. You know, they're at work and the boss walks in, boom, you get an alert on your phone, you get a call on your phone, all XYZ, right? So all those things are potential reasons why people stop on their journey of filling things out. With an active CDP and with an active tech stack, you can resolve that. So I'm out of time. This is our ecosystem. Start playing music or something when you guys want me to stop. This is our ecosystem. So this is the end of mechanism 2. So because our first mechanism is, we're dialed in on our first mechanism. This, we just got to feed it. And that's where we are right now. The cool part is, in talking to you right now, this is working live now, right now. And it's all about feeding it. It doesn't matter where it comes from. And we believe our purpose statement inside of the Rohrman Auto Group is driving relationships, awesome experiences. And we believe in everything we do that is what it's all about. Not just for the consumer experience, but we also believe that for our employees' experience. And when we can control the experience, we know it's going to be awesome, and we know it's going to be better. And that's where I don't care about leads. I care about high funnel sessions, because when I get that, guess what? I control it all. Wherever you stop on my tech stack, you see where the tech stack goes across. Wherever you stop, the CDP ingests it. We don't need to do mass marketing anymore. We market to the unique end customer with the message that they want to see, whether it's OTT, CTV, direct mail, Meta, Google AdWords. It doesn't matter. We don't have to do any of that in mass anymore. It's all micro audiences. We're delivering the message that the customer wants to see when they want to see it. Do you see how the experience changes when that happens? It's not, I just serviced my car and I got a coupon. Isn't that frustrating? Or how about, I just bought a car and you get something in the mail saying, come buy a car. Like, that's the 50% that doesn't work. We got to stop that. And that's what this system does. It's hungry and you got to feed it. So better is cleaner. So this is what we found. By doing this effectively, here's our journey. So one of our main KPIs, we put all lead types into one bucket. So we fuel it all into phone calls, leads, internet leads, repeat referrals, and service drive. We put it all into one. We let the guys mark manually up to 8% bad leads. That's a smoke number, so like you have to control that. Everything else is automated, right? So dupes automatically come out, all that kind of stuff. So the only manipulation is at 8%. We give them an 8% variance where they can take leads out. And look at our journey. The last 2 months, and this number, I'm telling you, like, this is the unstuck part. My team was at another conference not too long ago, and one of my directors shared this, and everyone's like, BS, it's not real. I'm telling you, if that's your thinking, get unstuck. You got to get unstuck. 30% close rate, is it good? Yes, I believe it's good. Is that the end-all be-all? Absolutely not. Flip it the other way around. 70%, you believe 70% are not buying a car? Like, that's not true. It's not true. And my last slide, I'm going to prove that. But check this out. So 4Eyes, they're one of our partners. And for the year, they've processed over 5 million leads, new and used. And that's the national close rate right now, 12.5%. Better, cleaner is better. That's what this is. It's just cleaner. It's just cleaner. Cleaner is better. We're selling more cars than we've ever sold before. March was one of our best months in our company's history. And guess what? We beat it in April. June 1st is my 20th year with Rohrman Automotive Group. And I can tell you, I asked my CFO, have we ever beat March in April? It's never happened. And we beat it. Why? Because we're just getting going on this. And I'm so excited about it. But I also know there's more. Here's my last slide. So we partnered with Urban Science. This is a cool tool. It's called Traffic View. So it's only on new cars. It's based on RDR information. So for the month of April, check this out. We had 6,200 new car leads inside of our 22 stores. 66% did not buy. That's an opportunity, okay? 34% bought. We got 55% of it. 45% bought from the same or other OEM inside the same month. I mean, if you're anything like me, dealers, this irks me, right? This is an opportunity, and we close at 30%. Is there more? Oh, my word. So this is the vision for what we're trying to do. 2 opportunities. How can we get a little bit of that, right? We can't be everything for everybody. We don't cover every brand, and it's okay. Can we get another 5% out of that? Absolutely. What about this one? 66%, they didn't even buy yet. Why is that? Well, guess what? With the perfected tech stack, we can figure out why, and we can get that. So I'm super excited about it. I'm super passionate about it. I tried to do 8 to 10 years in 20 minutes. So if you have questions, I'd love to talk about it. But the vision is this. We got to get unstuck. first mechanism, you gotta be ready for it internally. If you're not ready for it, it's not gonna work. It's all about experience. Second mechanism, what is that close rate? What can it be? Like if I had a guess, it's in the 40s. Like that's very doable. Some of us can get to the 40% close rate. How does that change your business when that happens? You don't need more leads. You just need a better, cleaner process so that you can get more with less, and that is so much more efficient. We're saving money while we're doing this too. That's the crazy thing. This is cost effective. It doesn't cost more. So that's where I see the vision of the Rohrman Auto Group, and really the vision of dealers who can get unstuck and see what we can do in terms of pushing this, controlling that experience from the super high funnel all the way down, because a customer for life is what we're trying to drive at the end of the day. So thank you, appreciate it.